Designed with live performance in mind, the PO-28 robot is the only pocket operator in the current range that allows you to play a live lead line over the top of a pre-programmed pattern, making it a very welcome addition to your pocket operator collection. Similar to the PO-16 factory, the robot features 15 synth sounds and a micro drum kit for adding percussive flavour to your patterns. As the name would imply, all the onboard sounds have a very science fiction inspired robotic characteristic to them, which makes the PO-28 ideal for creating futuristic mechanical sounding loops. Although it may look complicated, the pocket operator robot is actually pretty easy to use once you know how. It's exactly the same in terms of controls as the rest of the pocket operators. If you've been watching this video series, you'll know how it works already. There's 16 main keys, which are used for playing the sounds, accessing sounds and patterns, and they correspond to different effect types as well. Up the top there's 3 buttons, which are used for accessing sounds, patterns and controlling the BPM. 2 control knobs adjust various parameters on the unit, and the 4 buttons down the side are used for recording, starting and stopping the sequencer, and accessing different effects. Unlike the other melodic pocket operators in the range, that's the PO-16 factory and the PO-14 sub, whose keyboards play the scale of C major, the PO-28 robot is tuned to A minor. Obviously, theory buffs out there will point out that A minor scale is part of the C major key, which means that these units can easily be used together without sounding out of tune. But the robot also features a sharpened 7th note, allowing for an A harmonic minor scale to be played. Put simply, it sounds like this, which offers a nice twist and harmonic possibilities, adding to that eerie science fiction sound that this little unit can kick out. To select a sound, simply hold down the sound button, followed by one of the 16 selection keys. If you select a synth tone, the buttons then become a keyboard of sorts, so you can play your melodies. Or if you select the micro drum kit, which is on key 16, each button then plays a different percussive sound. Each sound has 2 preset parameters which can be adjusted via the 2 control knobs. Depending on the sound selected, these knobs control parameters such as filter cutoff and resonance when using the synth sounds, and pitch and volume when playing the micro drum kit. Let's take a listen. Select a different sound. Again, these can either be tweaked live or parameter changes can be recorded and saved to become part of the pattern. Next up, let's take a look at how we actually create a pattern. To do so, first select the pattern we want to overwrite by pressing the pattern button. I'm going to press number 16. You can see there's a little flashing LED which is indicating the currently active pattern. Let's have a little listen. To delete that pattern, press the glide button and pattern button together, and now that should be blank. Now we've got that blank pattern, we can now start entering note information. There's 2 ways we can do this. It can either be entered manually into the sequencer grid. Each of the 16 buttons represents a step in the sequence, or we can play notes in live where they'll be quantized to the nearest beat. Let's start off by adding a percussive pattern into the grid to show you how that works. To do that, we need to enter write mode, so we hit the right button. You'll notice a little record icon appears on the screen there. I'm going to select the micro drum kit, so sound and 16. And let's put some beats in. I'll put one on each beat of the bar first. So we'll say that's our bass drum. Let's just chuck a few more random beats in now. And I'm going to change the sound of those ones that I've put in completely at random using Control Knob A. I'll hold down one of the beats. Let's do another one. So now we've got a basic rhythmical pattern. Let's add a bit of melody using the live record function. For this, we come out of write mode, select the sound that we're going to use. That one will do us. Start the pattern. And to record, we hold down the right button and then play away. You'll notice that notes are a little quieter when being played back as part of the pattern than they were when we initially input them. This is because, as mentioned earlier, the robot is the only pocket operator designed to allow you to play a lead line live over the top of those patterns, and it's assumed that you probably want that lead line to be a little louder than the backing track. So once our basic pattern has been input, we can start having a bit of fun by tweaking parameters and inserting effects. As mentioned earlier, parameters can be tweaked and recorded to become part of the pattern. Simply select the sound that we want to edit. We use the melody part which is already selected. Press play, hold down the right button, and then we can tweak our control knobs. Let's tweak the drums a little bit. Select the drum sound, hold down the right button, and hopefully you can now hear that those parameter changes that we made have been saved as part of the pattern. Next up, let's add some effects. There's 16 effects available, and these can be punched in and out by holding the effects key and then pressing one of the 16 buttons. Available effects include filters, repeat, fill-ins and note retrigger, allowing you to get really creative. Let's have a little play. To delete any of this effects data, simply press and hold the effects button for the duration of the pattern. Tempo can be controlled by pressing the BPM button. There's 3 preset tempos, 80 BPM for hip hop, 120 disco and 140 techno. But if you press and hold that BPM button, you can use Control Knob B to really fine tune that tempo. By holding down the BPM key and tweaking knob A, you can also adjust the shuffle and swing of a pattern. Once you've created your pattern, it can then be copied to another patch by holding down right and pattern, followed by the patch number that you want to copy it to, where it can then be edited. There's room for 16 patterns to be saved, and just like on the other pocket operators, these can be chained together for playback. Hold down the pattern button, we'll select 4 of them to be played. When I hit the play button now, each time the pattern loops over, you should hear it change. And there we go, back to the beginning. So you can see how it's really easy to chain patterns together to make a song on the robot. There's an input and output. The input is used when linking pocket operators together, and the output kicks out line level for connecting to a mixer or headphones. These are mono units, but when using the stereo cable in sync mode, the signal is split into audio on the right and a click track on the left, meaning that the other units in the range can easily be linked and synced with a single stereo mini jack cable. So finally, to give you a proper idea of how it sounds, let's link together all the 16 preset patterns and jam some lead lines over the top. Take a listen. This is the Teenage Engineering Pocket Operator Robot.
Yeah.